Originally from the UK. He works with yours over there, so we work in the UK.
Oh, we're in the UK. Yeah, where we're going.
Welcome
Good.
to Leaf Sales with Ian Nethercott and Larry Feldman live.
If you look at the last 4 years again, we've answered 41 million phone calls for dealers over the last 4 years with our AI platform. We've also handled over 150 million text messages. And so when you look at just those raw numbers, that's a 4-to-1, 3.5, 4-to-1 text to phone call. So I don't know. Here's what I can tell you though. I believe that the customer wants to be met where they are presently. If that is text, voice, video call, if they want to be engaged and engaged instantly.
I've been fortunate enough to be using Numa since square one, but my opinion, I like to meet the customers where they are, because if I choose my preference in terms of how I want to communicate with people, I'm going to eliminate a large portion of my potential customers. The customer calls in from the outside. There doesn't have to be a person on the other side of the conversation, and it will be a transcribed, recorded transcription of the message, which is important, and it's real time, 365 days a year. So we don't lose anything. The customers that prefer the phone and the customers that prefer the text may be two different people, but the nice thing about like Numa as an example is you got both of those people in one spot.
All right. Good evening. Good welcome. I hope everyone's doing fantastic. We will be at the Numa booth at NADA next to a small company of mine, CDK Global. And if you're going to NADA, I posted in the chat. It's a party from another one of the sponsors of the Auto Hub show, which is DMSA. It's going to be a James Bond themed party. So if you want to go, you can register using the QR code. The founder of that company is British. So, if you want to check that out, it's a Bond themed event. And good evening. So Larry, I hear you've been doing a few things. We will have hats and shirts at the show while they last. Be a blue trucker style hat and a double-sided black t-shirt in various sizes. The front's going to be Auto Hub show. The back will be Lethal Sales. So if you want one, stop by. We'll have to give it to you on the down low because I hear they're preventing swag this year or making it difficult or some stupid thing like that. So whatever, I'll have it in a bag. We'll figure it out. It's all good.
Well, Lord knows, and one thing Las Vegas has always been against is excess. They're definitely into moderation in all things. So that makes complete sense to me.
And if you're at
NADA,
just so last one, if you want a free breakfast and lunch, Joel's picking up at Bagel Mania. He's picking up breakfast and lunch. Just stop by, ask for Joel and vid calls. He's picking up coffee and bagels for you, or coffee and deli sandwiches. I don't know. They've been in business since '89. Can't go wrong with a bagel and cream cheese and whatever they're doing. I don't think. But go ahead, Larry. Sorry.
As far as doing things, I'm engaged with Sandy. We're going to do more and more recruiting together this year. Every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have a terrific broadcast with Mr. Larkin and Mr. Gary Silman. I'm in Florida. So if you happen to see Sandy, Rhonda holding a voodoo doll looking like me with pins stuck in it, she's really tired of me hearing that I keep getting booked to Florida. Not pleasant.
One week after another.
Yep. And while I was out here, Ian, the guy is super good. But just a good guy. And he said, Larry, I've just hit such a dry spell with people. Do you think you can help me? Well, I didn't help him. I blew him out of the water. I got 20 people. He's going to be filled to capacity, and there's 2 dealerships that they own right next to that. They're going to grab people. And then we're talking serious about coming out doing more training. So life is very good. There's my buddy David. No complaints. Coming back to a little bit of snow, where Harry Wilner and I are going to go to Bath, PA, and start with the Brown Dog Group, which will be great. And all there. And David, the reason I showed you the picture of the class was not to brag, but to tell you that's why I missed the human side of AI. While you were working that over, I was putting people through their paces. But all is well, and I'm excited to do NADA and have some fun.
And Larry, Bill Camastro is going to be at the show. So looking forward to catching up with Bill in person from Gold Coast. So if you know Bill, he's going to be at the Numa booth, but he'll be around for a couple of days, just so you know. And there will be obviously lots of dealers, but the other party that's big is Digital Airstrike. They're having DJ Jazzy Jeff and Damon John and a couple NFL players, which is kind of an interesting mix-up based on what they normally do. But that's usually the biggest party going. But there's a couple other ones you should definitely check out. If you want details, let me know. If you want to do an interview at the show, definitely reach out to me. I will be there on, was it Monday? I think I'm landing on Monday, and I'll be there till the Saturday crack of dawn morning. So I should have some availability, so let me know. So fixing bad habits. This is kind of a timely show, being that it is the New Year's resolution time of year. I know it because when you're at the gym, there's the 30-day gym workout crew. So
Right.
they roll in for the first 30 days and then poof, gone.
Yeah.
So I guess my thought is, what is everyone's opinion on New Year's resolutions? Like, does anyone make them? Do they keep them? Any best practices? Any thoughts? I mean, I don't know. Whoever wants to start.
I think with anything you decide to do in your life, you want to be realistic. You know, they say the way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So, you know, it makes a little more sense to say, I'm going to lose 4 pounds this month than it does to say I'm going to lose 70 pounds. If we're realistic in our expectations, we can really accomplish a lot just by doing it. And as far as problems, my theory's always been simple: run to the problem. I never understood people that put a problem off to the end of the day or the end of the week. It doesn't get better, it gets worse, and you find yourself stressed out. So run to the problems, be realistic in your assessment of yourself and what you're able to keep, and roll. But on the other hand, we are all dying, right? We hope it's not for a long time. So turn the volume up every day. Worst that could happen is you don't do it perfect, so you do it again differently.
So do you make New Year's resolutions, Larry?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I'm going to have a phenomenal 2026. I've already picked up a ton of business. I try to be as high energy and out of my mind as I can every day. So I'm not sure what I could resolve. You know what, I did talk to my drummer about the band being busier, and we picked up a ton of dates, so we're going to be playing a lot. I'm working on 3 new songs, so we'll probably go in the recording studio in April or May and finish up the last CD, the one that had Looking for Elvis on it. And everything's good. You know, I think we're all tired of people that make these outlandish promises or proclamations to themselves without any intention of following up, you know? And why should January 1st be the line of demarcation? If it's the middle of October and you're overweight, you're not in shape, you want to quit smoking, then quit. You know, we kind of set false deadlines and strange little times in our mind. I mean, if you're not comfortable with what you are or who you are, change it. You know, we don't live forever.
Well, I have a musical reference for you. I was watching Australian 60 Minutes on YouTube, and they were interviewing Ed Sheeran, and he was talking about his musical career, and he said, yeah, I write songs 6 days a week. And they asked him, you know, like, how do you know if a song's a good song? And he goes, well, it's kind of like when you score a goal in, you know, hockey, football, whatever your sport is, you know that's what it is. He says, if you write enough, you know there's a lot of crap, but he says you really got to do it on a constant basis. And someone today I was talking to said that's basically what the Beatles did. They wrote a lot of songs. Some of them didn't see the light of day. And I thought that was really interesting because he plays by himself. There is no band. It's just him. And, you know, realistically, he's been writing songs a long time, but he did it basically at 14. He decided to just go and, you know, perform. So he's been pretty successful at it. But
he's a good and talented songwriter, but you don't really want to put him in the same breath or mention of Lennon and McCartney.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that.
These were 2 people touched by God.
Yeah. You
know, the record company or the movie producers will come up to them and say, we need a song, give us a half an hour. And if you look at on all those Beatle records, you probably have a handful of songs that you could live without. You know, I could stand never hearing Mr. Moonlight again. But man, they write consistently great songs. Oh, yeah. No apologies to the White Album and Revolution #9. You know,
fantastic. So, Mike, do you do New Year's resolutions or not? Is that your thing or no?
No, I do goals for the year, but I believe in fixed consistency. You know, if there's anything that in the past year I said, hey, I'm going to be consistent at this, and I didn't be or wasn't consistent, I'm going to make a goal to be consistent, whether it be attending lethal sales every week or, you know, but be consistent. And I look around me and I think, you know what? The people that I work with, they need to be consistent too. So fixed consistency is, and just do better. And that's good enough for me is I always say 1% a day. And after a whole year, you look back and you go, yeah, if I hold to that before my head hits the pillow, I'm in a good spot at the end of the year. And, you know, since I've been doing this for maybe 5 years, I've grown a lot.
Fantastic. Sandy, Rhonda, Wendy, good evening. What do you think? Sandy, you're muted.
Sandy, you're muted.
Yes, I know, because I'm waiting for one of the other lovely ladies that are here with me. And how much do I love that there's 3 of us today,
Yay.
right? We're almost half
Yeah.
of the room.
Yep.
I'm kind of digging it.
You
But
are
I'm happy
half.
to
What do you
let-
mean? It's 6 people.
You know
She's
what?
right.
I have had a long day.
Okay, no worries.
Somehow, no, it's 7 of us.
Oh, okay.
wonder
Sorry.
where
David was
it's
there. Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, there's 7 squared. Wait a minute.
Sandy, it's okay. He converts everything into metric. He's Canadian.
Hey, I like Canada. Anyway, you know, I have really never made like New Year's resolutions, whether personal, you know, setting business goals and setting, you know, making a vision for where I want to go, really personally and professionally, I guess, is a thing, but it's not something that I do, you know, at the end of the year, or, you know, I generally don't get on that bandwagon, or the word of the year, my word for this year, right? Like I hear a lot of that there's a lot of people who pick a word.
Yeah, I do that.
Right? Like whatever people need to do. You know, I think that, you know, the wise woman in my life said, she used to say there's a wrench for every nut, right? And there's one of every kind. And it takes one of every kind to make the world go round. And you know, so whatever works for you, do it, right? Whatever it is. And sometimes that changes for me, right? Like I do like having songs, right? Like that fits with my personality, doesn't it? You know, and this year the song, like I did think about that. The song that the only one I can think of is "I Will Survive," and that's my song for this year.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Wendy,
Okay,
Rhonda?
I do the word thing. I pick a word. Sarah and I, especially when she was here, you know, I'm ADHD. If it wasn't for bad habits, I'd have no habits at all. So I just pick the word, and I hope that it reflects what I'm doing and how I'm relating to this year. So we started with abundance. That was 3 years ago. We didn't have abundance. And then the second year it was organization. That didn't happen either because ADHD.
Rhonda, what's the word?
The word is optimization.
I'm going to hold you that.
We're pivoting in a lot of ways, and we're trying to codify who we are, what we're doing.
And I'm going to conjugate her verb, because my word is the same word it is every year, optimistic.
That's true. That's Larry. But that's, you know, what kind of resolution is that if you do it all the time?
Well, what's wrong with staying resolute? By the way, in case you didn't hear, Mike fell behind in his payments for my career changes hat, and I had to repossess it. And now he's stuck with the Boston Red Sox hat. Out of season.
My 1970s hat.
Rock and roll.
Cool.
That was you're from Canada, and that's when the Red Sox were still struggling with the Babe Ruth curse.
Oh,
where
yeah.
No matter what happened, they couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah,
And then they pulled one of the greatest upsets in history. They were down 3-0, and were the first team I think to ever be in a 3-0 hole and win the next 4 games, and went on to win the World Series.
That is correct, sir.
I visited the town. I used to go there for Macworld way back.
Mackerel.
Macworld, when it was a thing, like back in the late 90s. Anyway, Wendy,
what's your thought? We always like to hear from you. What is your we're talking about get rid of problems and looking forward.
Oh, get rid of problems? Okay, because, all right, yeah, I heard you talking about words and stuff, so I don't know exactly what answer you're looking for. What is my plan to get rid of problems and look forward?
Yeah.
Well, this is a fun one for me.
Wendy, it started out with Ian asking about
resolutions.
New Year's resolutions, right? Like,
And habits. What do we do to get rid of bad habits? Since you have none, Wendy, you can pass.
No, I think she was geared up. She wanted to throw something out
I'm
there.
collecting my thoughts. So my word for this year, by the way, to go back to that, is harvest. My word last year was collaboration, and I planted a lot of seeds all year round. And now I'm going to reap what I've sown. So my word is harvest. I'm going to focus. I'm going to put my head down, and I'm going to blow shit up. So I know, get the swear jar, Rhonda.
Don't worry about that.
Let me
I
make
don't
it
know how you
worth it.
harvest
I'll
the
give you
blow
$1
thing.
worth. Blow shit up. Blow shit up. Okay, that's a buck I owe you. So, I love you, Rhonda. So guys, I'm really excited because I am going to learn to say no. Because somebody told me that, and Gary's laughing. Yeah, sure, Wendy. Sure you are.
Yeah, no.
I feel sometimes like I'm a piece of Laffy Taffy and I'm being pulled in 5 different directions. And because I absolutely love connecting people that I know are going to be magical together, and I love collaboration, I do all that all the time, but I don't think about what's going to help my bottom line ever, much less enough. So I have to focus and be intentional about what I'm doing, and I have to start sharing the massive successes that we're having in a couple of proof of concepts that we're doing, and how we can really make an instant impact on both the fixed ops side and the sales side. I'm excited about NADA. I'm going to be doing some fun stuff, but I'm learning to say no, and I'm learning to set more boundaries. I'm learning I'm studying a lot through Now Rising with Katie and Allison about a pivot method, and trying not to react impulsively like you guys all know me to do. I'm a very emotional creature, and I react sometimes without thinking, oh, really? And then I'm like, oh shit, let me put this size 11 in my mouth, because maybe I didn't see it the right way. And admittedly, I'll own I'm going to say it again, Rhonda. I own my shit right away, and I'm the first one to say I made a mistake, and I will do better. I'm not making promises. I'm not apologizing. I'm promising that I will do better. And that's what my year looks like, Larry.
Awesome. David, and then we'll get our boy, Mr. Silman in. You seem to help a lot of people solve their problems. Physician, heal thyself. What's your recipe for solving problems, and what do you see for coming up? I don't think you're one to make resolutions, David. It seems like you're always a man in motion. Am I correct?
Yeah, I don't have any resolutions. I just like to, and kind of like Wendy, I'm going to around the money, fix shit or break shit. And I will like to.
Is there anybody other than me that feels bad with this much cursing that we don't have Brooke Furnace on the show?
The thing about it is that, my life is always, when I walk in a door, I always think that I walk into chaos, and I always think that I'm the person of clarity. So, and I've been like that for decades. So I don't know how not to be that way. And I think that, this goes back to me being a linebacker in football in high school. And, people are like, Dave is kind of like the person that's the calm in the middle of the storm. And, you know, I could see the whole football field and I can see everything that's going on in the game. And I can predict where everything's going to go and the ball's going to be at. And then I have to make sure that I get everybody in position. And it's the same way I do with the sales floor. It's the same way I do with a marketing campaign. I just, you know, I'm willing to deal with any type of, you know, fire. And when you said it perfectly, Larry, when there's a problem, I run to it because I want to do the hard things first every day. That's, you know, my biggest thing. But that doesn't mean I don't procrastinate. That doesn't mean I don't prioritize. If something is really not important to me, it's just not important to me. But if it's a problem that we need to fix, those are the things that I'm built for. So I just like to always provide clarity to everything that I do. And I'm not afraid to pivot. So, and I don't really have a word this year, but I think, you know, I like to resonate. I like to have, you know, constant reason. I like to have just consistency. And after that, I'll shut up.
Hey, we got Mr. Silman, we got Alec, we got Christian. Gentlemen, whichever one of you looks like Christian on mic. Just talking about resolutions that we make, that we don't make, how to solve problems, just how to make this year make some darn sense.
Let me jump right in to a couple of things. Mr. Larkin, you see the Fenway Park behind? I figured I'd do a different background and my all my baseballs that we caught at games and different tickets. So I'm in a new spot. I'm in Fenway Park now.
Nice.
Today sucked. Today was a terrible day. I didn't have a good day.
I'm sorry.
But I'm glad right now because I feel a lot better sitting here talking to all of these wonderful people. So my first one is David Rozek. What an unbelievable video that you sent me today that basically explains in layman's term of what the hell's going on. Because most of these people have no clue, like you say. And, you know, from what I'm learning is that dealers' websites are going to be invisible really quick. And if you don't learn how to take care of your AI and all of the things, you're screwed. And, you know, so I certainly appreciate hanging around with you, David, because boy, it's you chaos to clarity. I've been in the industry for 40 years. And what I used to do is try to control the chaos. I was F&I. And so I would control the floor, and, you know, so today we just did 25 years, I'd say, of bad business. And now if you embrace and learn AI and you clean up your showrooms and put nice people in there, you're going to win. You're going to win in spades. So I'm jacked up because I didn't know how to control the media. And now that I've spent time with all of these smart people, I understand it. Mike Larkin, I know what AI is. And with David, boy, the stuff that you put out there, I appreciate because I'm able to articulate what I'm trying to get across. And so thank you. Thank you, Mr. Larkin. Thank you, Ian. Hey, Ian, that was a wonderful interview, boy. I got off the call and I was like, man, I was nervous at the beginning, but we just started chatting. We were talking. We're a couple of F&I guys. Yeah. And I'm thrilled. I see that my pal has joined us, Riley Sorrell. And boy, I love, hey, Riley, it's snowing here. I'm sorry. And it's snowing coming up in the weekend. And it snowed for 3 days last week. So get some warm clothes when you come back up. But thank you for everybody tonight. I'm excited. And somebody said consistency. And consistency and collaboration and communication are the words today. Because I am going into dealerships, and dealerships that have habitually been, we don't want anything, they're listening. They're actually being normal. They're having conversations. So when you have conversations, they move into better discussions. And so, goals will be set after the first quarter, and we will chase goals the rest of the year, looking for numbers, making sure that dealers are successful as well as we are. And it's time. So it's freezing cold outside and snowing, and I'm real happy to be inside here warm with you guys. So good seeing everybody.
We want to hear from Riley, Alec, Christian, whoever would like to jump in first. And thank you all so much for joining us tonight.
I put up.
You guys hear me at all?
Yeah, I put up an AI study from CDK. It's in the chat if you want to take it down. If you can't get it, just send me an email. It just came out this week. Yep, the dealership AI study. Sorry, go ahead.
Resolutions, New Year's resolutions. I love them. I actually think we should make a resolution anytime. I don't think we just should wait till the beginning of a year, although it's a natural starting point. So I get it, right? You guys are talking about words, resolutions, those types of things. Word, I've had the same word for 20 years. It's discipline. And it's just to remind me to do the hard shit when I don't want to do it. I mean, let's face it. I mean, we all have hard shit we got to do, and we just don't want to do it. When I make that my word, it just reminds me if that's what I'm all about, if I want to live that word, then I got to do the hard shit when I don't want to do it. As far as New Year's resolutions are concerned, thought for me this year was that I want to, and this sounds odd and counterintuitive, but I want to move away from perfectionism. And that is, there's times I go down these rabbit holes and I stop and I'm 2 hours down this rabbit hole trying to create this, I don't know. I was doing it earlier this week where I'm trying to create this post for NADA, and I'm spending 2 hours down this rabbit hole trying to figure out how to get my face circular inside this Canva. And I'm like, why the hell does this matter? Why does it have to be circular? I mean, I'm spending way too much time on this. So this book that I read recently, Buying Back Your Time, I think it's Dan Martell wrote it.
Great book. I know Dan personally. Great guy. Yep.
It's a great book. And he keeps saying in the book over and over, if you can get somebody else to do it for you, 80% as good as you can do, that's freaking awesome. And he keeps saying that over and over. And so, I kind of taken that thought and apply it to sometimes when I'm going down these rabbit holes. Is this super duper important? Is 80% good enough? Is that freaking awesome right now to get some more time back and move on to the next thing? So that's kind of, I guess, what my thoughts are. And then the last thing I'd like to remind you all, if you didn't write your New Year's resolution goal down, it's probably not going to come to fruition. 42% handwriting activates brain networks that will go ahead and increase your focus, increase your memory, and you're 42% more likely to achieve your goal and attain your goal if you write it down and put it in writing. So there you go. Those are my 2 cents.
Christian.
Yeah.
Christian, I sat for probably an hour one time trying to get one of my posts, and it wouldn't leave. It wouldn't call shoppers. It was calling them shappers, and it was like, no, it's got to be a spell check. And I screwed around with it so long, I got frustrated. I had to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Because I find myself in on some of these things, and it's like, no, it's not right. It's not right. It's not gonna be right. Leave. And I take the dog out for a walk when I run into that. But it's very funny that you say that. Perfectionism is a failure. That makes us nuts when we're trying to be that perfect.
What was the word again? What was the word again, Gary?
What word?
Shoppers and shappers?
Shapers.
Shapers.
It was
Shapers. I might work in the right area. Shapers.
It was, and I was like, everything looked really good, except I couldn't put a bed, an incorrect spelling on there. I just did it. And I sometimes I've got more articles written in LinkedIn that doesn't have a picture, because sometimes I can't get the picture to fit in on the articles because they cut them. And
I was gonna say, if you want the Boston accent, 100 miles north of you, buddy. Shappers.
Yes. What kind of car you looking for? You local shoppers?
Back the car, the garage. No, it's not prevalent.
Yeah. Well,
Whoa.
Well,
let's take over, and I want. Did Riley have a chance to speak? I want to hear Rob.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Riley.
she's got who? Is that?
Well, Miss Princess Mackenzie, say hi to my friends.
Hi, Mackenzie.
Hi,
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
Hi, Mackenzie.
Mommy's still at the grind over here.
Where's Skylar?
In the kitchen.
Okay.
They cooking you dinner, Riley?
We went out to dinner. We went to Outback tonight.
Oh,
Nice.
And
Mommy didn't eat today, so it was like 4:30, and I'm like, somebody needs to feed me before it gets bad.
and tomorrow's a big day. You guys are going to have some fun.
All right, we're going to Great Wolf Lodge in Naples. Field trip.
I'm excited. I love going to Great Wolf Lodges. They're great.
I've never been there.
Oh,
so
you've
it's my
never
first
been?
one.
You got to get the wand so you can go around and do all there's a lot of like treasure chests that you run around, and there's my kids, we used to take them to Great Wolf Lodge in PA.
Okay.
And I remember it was great because it had Yingling on draft. And so we were able to, because the kids were playing and we were hanging out. So it's awesome. You'll have a great
time. You need the wands.
So
now we're buying wands, apparently.
You're buying wands.
Yeah, thanks, Gary.
Glad to help.
So I popped in late. I just got the invite right before y'all. So what would you like me to comment on?
Well, we're talking about New Year's resolutions and goals, but we're also talking about words and music. Those ones I haven't heard before, but it's up to you.
So I had two different words, and they kind of matched each other. So consistency, which Gary, you just met, is my word of the year. And then my other word of the year is faith. Faith is pretty important to me. And those two things really, for me, line up synergy. Because if I don't have faith that I'm going to do it consistently, then I ain't going to do it at all. And if I don't do something consistently, that's just how that I work. So I have some big goals and plans for this year. And, we're day 21. I've done 20 days consistently of my app to do my Bible in a year. So tonight will be 21 days. And again, that goes along with faith. I don't know how I'm going to get there. Some of y'all know some challenges that I have with my daughter, and the insurance requirements and the cost with her therapies and stuff like that. So I don't know how it's going to happen, but faith and consistency is going to make it work, and everything's going to work out. So I have this crazy piece, and yep, that's where I'm at this year.
Awesome.
Is Russell on? Someone said about Russell. Is he on?
Russell's here.
Yeah, Russell.
I'm here. Yes. Good evening, everybody. I'm incognito tonight. Only got a few minutes. I was driving. I have been. I'm at the VA hospital in Bonham, Texas, to speak to all the men and women that are here in treatment about recovery, and I get to tell my story tonight. So I'm honored.
Very nice.
Nice.
So New Year's resolutions, Russell, anything on that front?
Yeah, I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. I'm doing today what I'm chasing the dream, baby. And if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. No, I'm doing everything I need to do today that I was doing yesterday. I'm on an upward trajectory, and I get up every day and remind myself that, Russell, successful people do daily what average people do occasionally. Get up and get after it.
I like it.
100%.
I like it.
I saw this interview. This guy goes around the world and he takes photos in cities of random people. And he talked to a gentleman who's in his 70s who's a farmer by trade, lost his wife a couple of years ago. But he was saying people always wondered how he did all this farming stuff. So really, it was just getting up early and doing the hard things. He had his farm, he ran it himself. So it was kind of interesting. And I agree with that. If you're at it early, it makes it a little bit easier sometimes and more difficult sometimes, but at least you have the time to do it, in my opinion. Larry.
Right on.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Larry, you still there? We lose you? I guess we lost
Larry,
him.
you're
Muted, Larry.
Larry's
Larry's
on
gone.
mute. What? But we haven't heard from Alec or
Yeah.
Abdul from Kabul.
Yeah,
I'm
Alec and
still
Abdul.
here. I'm
Okay.
just, this is gonna shock you all. I'm doing 3 or 4 things while I'm on the podcast.
Okay, no worries.
I know you're stunned.
Yeah, no worries.
Looking good, Larry, with tie and everything, brother.
Got my world famous Marvel tie on here.
There you go. There you go.
Jerry
Oh,
Garcia.
we thank you, Abdul. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from Alec, who jumped on, and we didn't hear from him. And so nice to see you all tonight, Alec, and then Abdul.
Yeah.
New Year's resolutions, things you do to beat down problems. We'd love to hear your input, gentlemen.
Well, 2025 was a great year for me because I stuck to my first resolution, and that was losing weight of 25 pounds. So thankfully I exceeded that. And then this year, of course, yeah, thank you. And to keep the weight down, and I haven't been at this weight since my car days 20 years ago. So that's a great feeling. Plus, thankfully, we're registering 500 used cars a week on our Cars AIX platform all over California. So we're up to 2,000 cars in our platform. I'm looking for East Coast connectors to chop in and hop in on there, and because selling cars makes it easier for everybody else to sell their products, because it's all about the unit, my friends. So that's our goal, is to register 500 to 1,000 cars a weekly basis throughout the country on our Cars AIX, because it's all a zero upfront cost, and we don't get paid until we sell the cars through our platform, and we only charge a flat $300. And then, of course, on subscription basis, we started for new car franchises as low as $49 a month, up to $499 per month. So we're chopping the competition at the knees. So we're really looking forward to a great 2026.
Abdul from Kabul.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
We're working diligently in Connecticut.
Thank you.
Because I see that your product and it's working in the independent spaces first for me. And we're starting to get some activity.
We appreciate it.
Because with that, and then my other program, and I wanted to just kind of reach out to David again. David Rozek, have you ever met Mike Frazier yet? Have you guys ever coordinated? Because this one could be a very, very big potential for everybody. They are using USA Today newspaper, and they're using Local IQ as their their field, and they've opened up 8 markets. Detroit, vehicles for sale near Detroit, vehicles for sale near Indianapolis, Des Moines. Well, they are working with me now in Hartford, Connecticut. So, David, you've been teaching me of how AI in the mini blogs and all the other articles that you have to write to get visibility. And that's where I want you guys, you and Mike Frazier, to talk, because they have the support of USA Today. And so what they do, they want to grow this business. And so I'm just signed up with them, and I'm bringing it to Hartford. They have 25 dealers in the Detroit metro. And what they're saying is they've done a masterful job of keeping the larger players out of the local market. So when you start from a brick and mortar out, you can control your leads in your 20-mile radius. So if it wasn't for me talking to Mike Frazier and me listening to you, I'd still be lost. And because it's a whole new language. And as you keep on saying, the dealers, they don't understand. Most dealers have their children handling the marketing. It's a daughter that went to college. It's a guy who went to college, or somebody. And so, when I'm talking with them, you're fighting ignorance, because they just don't know. And it's the old school, is that if I'm tougher and I push people around and I question things, those days I want to be over, because the formulas that you teach gives them the lead, pushes out the big boys, and they win. And your brand theater, I mean, I'm a sold guy on that. And that seems to be the visibility that any dealer that is selling cars needs to be on social media with the way you're recommending them marketing their dealerships. And a lot of people share the same convictions.
Yeah, social media is trending, and it's a wonderful thing for dealers right now. And when I analyzed 6 dealerships this morning, we saw that in the past 30 days that our social media ads were outperforming most of our traditional paid ads. But that doesn't mean that it's not a replacement for it.
It's a wean, right? Because it takes a little while for you to build your activity, it seems.
So the most difficult thing is that small markets, medium markets, large markets, different products, all change. Every area is different. So, what works in Ottawa and what works in St. Louis and what works in Champaign or Indianapolis or Chicago doesn't necessarily work the same way in Naperville. Every 5-mile increment is a different battleground, and most people don't understand how to fight that fight, but it depends on what you're going after, because, generative SEO is important, right? So you have that blocking and tackling. Telling a story on social media is one part of it. Reputation is another part of it, but finding that co-witness article about a community event that you attended helps build that local SEO, that local articles that get found with the large language models, but not necessarily all of them. Specifically Gemini, because they're the ones that are indexing social media. Your social media and your inventory on social media in organic posts, it's now become a search engine in a way, and it's just because they switched it up a little bit. They changed the algorithm around. But you know what? They'll mess it up again, though, Gary, because they're going to want to figure out, how do we monetize this in another way?
Okay, so they're
And
going to
who
try
owns
to
Gemini, David?
Google. So I mean,
Yes, indeed.
Yep, and the reason though that happened is because Meta opened it up to them. They allowed Google.
Well, that's what I was reading.
Web crawl, right?
Right.
So they said, "Hey, Google, we're going to let you do something different, and we're going to grow together, and we're going to throw AI a different curveball. We're going to teach AI because we have the most information, and it's not just really Google. It's Google owns another thing called YouTube, and video has the most engagement. So because video influences and we learn different, and the AI was created by humans. So Michael keeps talking about expert intelligence, expert content. AI is thirsty. It wants to learn. Well, we feed it something. But that doesn't mean, though, that your AI, generative SEO is going to get all your sales for you, because you still need paid advertising. You still need to do things right. You still need to merchandise a car right. You still need to sell your F&I product. You still need to do all that. The difference is the guys that can do everything else a little bit better, and this isn't really anything new. Taking a picture of a customer at delivery, that's nothing new. Taking a joy moment of somebody saying, "Hey, congratulations, it's your work anniversary," that's nothing new. But we just don't ever take the time to record it and talk to people about it, because right now we consume and we learn differently. How do we learn? Through Clubhouse, we learn through YouTube, we learn through LinkedIn, we learn from talking to each other. AI is learning the same way, and we just have to feed it. And that's really the brand theater. Brand theater is everything.
Well, your brand theater, what I see is, especially with Jeep dealers, if you've got Jeep and you have some enthusiasts, I mean, taking it out, did you go to it? I think,
or the Jeep Jamboree.
Well, the Bozeman group, I guess, they went and took all of their Jeeps and they went down to the beach and they had a big, that's huge. And so the exposure that you get on some of that, and then the stuff that Katie Lampierre's doing, the veterans and those are the events that you're talking about. The bigger ones, but then you bring them. You can see what's happening at the dealership and what they're doing on different levels.
You see, the thing is, it's about current fluency. It's about constantly talking about. The one thing, though, about SEO back in the day took a long time to get it going, right?
Okay.
Well, by them crawling stuff, the AI is crawling, and you post something, AI is crawling all the time. And it's constantly feeding. So now when you do a search, it can pull up a reel about Larry training somebody.
Right.
In sales.
Yeah.
Larry's at our store training. And if we post that on our social media page, it says, hey, Larry's a good trainer.
Yep.
We should talk to Larry.
Yep, because that was the local expert.
Right. And what it does is it matches the dots. It says, hey, Larry's this. Oh, Wendy's a good BDC company. We use BDC Angels. Blah, blah, blah. And it connects the dots and it tells a story. But you have to keep telling the story every 30 days.
Because it changes. Is what you're saying. They may change something, and if you don't have the rights, you've lost.
Right. You just need to constantly change the narrative.
Well,
And
that's why AI cannot create expert intelligence. It's in us. It's in the experts who are individual experts at what their lane is.
That's why AI can't replace us, because AI needs to feed from us constantly, and we constantly give it a due change because we are unfreaking predictable.
Right.
We're
Hey guys, when you're done loving this dialogue, let's make sure we get Alec in.
Yep.
All right.
Let's get Alec in.
And then
Let's get Alec in.
Yeah. Go ahead, Alec.
Happy New Year.
I was just gonna say, I probably would put my word for the year, probably curiosity and patience.
Good ones.
It's my first time really being part of a bootstrap company and starting. It's not the beginning. I mean, they're a few years into the journey, but boy, it's where it's at is definitely the infancy stage. And it's cool technology, but it's being able to be a storyteller. But gosh, the listening and the variance within the industry is just so stark and crazy. I'm on Clubhouse earlier today, and people were talking about we need to see fixed gross increasing 10 to 15%, and it's just a matter of setting goals. And I'm like, that's not what I'm hearing when I'm visiting stores. And at the beginning of the week, I'm with a dealer group, and it's a big one. And the two brothers that own it are talking, I don't need you changing the world. I need you to tell me how you're going to get me 1, 2, 3, or 4% better this year. I don't care. You just follow process. You just got to follow and dig into the numbers and the performances and just get me 1 to 4% better in your store. And people are like, oh, this is going on. And they're like, so what you're saying is you can get me 1% better. You're telling me nobody can do anything to get me 1%? They're like, we can get you 1%. Okay. If you can get me 1, then you can probably get me 2 or 3. And it just changes the whole dynamic because now everybody's not like freaking out trying to figure out 10. They're really just, how can I get us incrementally better and just get us 1 to 3%? It was pretty cool. And it's pretty nice to see that kind of a culture. And then a meeting with hopefully in the next hour, and we'll grab a beer and talk with another group about 1 to 3%. So it's kind of fun.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did a show on Monday on service operations and on how to get better in service. And the thing that I learned from that show was basically it's about more dollars per hour using video or video MPIs or video communication. But more importantly, it's about retention. And that's all about tire sales. Like these things that get missed is because they're trying to focus on 10 areas. Pick an area if it's service. Pick an area, do retention, and then focus on that, focus on selling more work. But if you're not focused on service in 2026, I mean, I think you're missing the boat. That's going to be where all the growth is.
No, I mean, I would tell you that tires is the biggest number one defect rate from the dealer first time out.
Yep.
However, what I will tell you is that you don't need more business, and you don't need new business, and you don't need growth in order to have growth and in order to have increased revenue. The problem is inside the dealership. You are bleeding your fucking money out because you don't have a way. Most 90% of the DMS systems do not have the ability to lay it out more eloquently where the bleeding's happening. You don't know where you're getting stabbed. You're getting stabbed 1,000 times, but nobody knows where they're getting stabbed until the end of the month. They're like, well, I'm short. Well, no kidding, you're short because you didn't take care of incremental things. Like, can you see that on the repair order, there's double discounting happening? And so instead of being your cap at 10%, you really just took 15% on that ticket because of the way you did business.
Alec, as foolish as it is for dealerships not to have tire displays or make it very easy and inexpensive to get oil changes or even have a quick lube, I think the problem stems from the lack of synergy between the front and the back.
100%.
Years and years ago,
100%.
dealers, smart managers would say, I'm not giving you numbers until you take a demo because you want the people excited. How the hell can dealers not insist salespeople walk people through service with the simple speech? By the way, not only do we have really nice people back here, but our prices line up with any other place you go with the advantage that you never void your warranty. Because what an easy hook to put in somebody.
The crazier part is that most dealers' oil change is anywhere from $10 to $40 cheaper than Jiffy Lube or the oil, the grease monkey down the street, and they don't capitalize it. They don't act like it.
Listen, Alec, perception is reality.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to go down memory lane for anybody who's worked at a dealership. Wendy, you're going to agree. Silman, you're going to agree. David will agree. How weird is it that when there's a program, a rebate, something special, half the salespeople never know about it?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not a uniformity of shared communication. You guys know my theory. There has never been more effective communication available on the planet Earth, and we've never communicated less than we do now. Nobody answers their phone. Nobody responds promptly. So it's just really simple. We need service, and service needs sales. And if we don't behave that way and acknowledge that, we're never going to accomplish what we want to accomplish. Alec, I had a guy, I got a loaded class. Man, sometimes the weeks just roll themselves up. I got 20 people. I think I'm going to get 16 or 17 of them hired. I picked up some other business, and now we're working out a training. It was just a great week. So at the end of the day on Tuesday, I've already interviewed 40 people. A guy calls me. I stayed an hour late. They love the guy. He's going to get in. I say it all the time. It's in my book. If you want to get rich, act like you're broke. And if you want to go broke, act like you're rich.
Yep.
I chase every lead down. I follow up like a maniacal dog, and I still get the same throughout. I get something done. Hey, guys, ladies, is there any drug better than when they say yes to a salesperson? It's the greatest high there ever is. It never gets old.
Does Sandy want to talk? Does Sandy have a hand raised?
Sandy is
I'm being polite again.
Sandy is not communicating for anybody that doesn't know right now because Trump is on TV and she's following him carefully. I don't know, Alec, you don't know Sandy that well. She's Trump all the way. I have to talk her off the ledge sometimes. I just want to have a little fun.
I don't even know what to say, right? So,
whoa. Let's stop the show now. I've got Sandy.
I don't even know what to say. Rhonda. Except that it's completely untrue.
But what is true is I'm distinctly conservative and you're consistently liberal, and you and I have become
you don't really know that. You are assuming that. You are assuming that.
Yeah.
You are assuming that you know something about me. I am definitely socially liberal.
Lay down on the couch and let it all pour out.
What? That's okay. I do sometimes. I used to need therapy after having interactions with Larry sometimes. Right?
Who doesn't?
Don't we all?
Yeah. You get the group
Larry's really good at saying things that make me go.
The guy gave me a big check. Hold on. The guy gave me a big check today at the dealership. And one of the guys said, man, they pay you a lot. I said, no, they don't pay me to come. They pay me to leave.
And you can always count on Larry for a great joke, right? Like a joke that will.
Life is too short not to be smiling.
But Larry, go on mute for a minute. Let me talk because I actually agree with you about something.
Wow.
Rhonda, write this down.
And sometimes we do agree. Like I do believe that there is a huge disconnect, not just with service and the front of the house. I think that this permeates, and I've seen it, not everywhere. I hesitate to say everybody and nobody, because that is not the way the world works, right? But it has been my experience that I have seen many times, right? Organizations that don't operate as an organism, right? Like as an entire ecosystem, right?
Ecosystem.
And new hires don't understand. And when people come in to whatever role, whether it is answering the phone, because there are some dealers who still have somebody answering the phone.
And writing handwritten down notes.
How does what they do affect what the next department does? And then they take it from there. And how does everything affect everybody else? And I think that not just automotive, but all, organizations in general would really do themselves a favor by explaining to their staff, communicating, like Larry brought up communication, that what happens and how it works and why we do what we do and why what I do helps you complete the mission better, right? Like, and it gives, I think doing things like that gives purpose to people's jobs and, in general. So I kind of agree with Larry.
You're on a point right now where if we go back in history, when the big three were trying to get their acts together, they had the Ford Blue Oval, they had the Chrysler Pentastar, and the dealers were required to put pen and paper and map out every process in the dealership, and you train on it. That was 25 years ago from the OEM. And so, it's like the dealers that stay and they work on aligning themselves and creating seamless, frictionless are going to win. And all of us in this room are going to be people training these people because it's time. We don't need slick salespeople. We need nice human beings in the dealership. And before, we used to always need slick salespeople, and then we would cater to the ones that sold more.
Well, Garrett, I got to interrupt for 1 second because what you just said was gold. I just told my class today that the misnomer is you want to be slick. You know what happened to all the slick guys I knew in my career? They're living in their mother's basement. They made $1 million on .com, and now they owe $30 million. You want to be naive enough to believe that everybody is a buyer.
Yep. And you need to be
Here's where we differ, right? Like you guys always talk about sales and selling more cars, and I know that the entire industry, the entire business is about on the outside, and I think we have it wrong. Yes, we sell and service cars, but isn't it really about helping people get transportation that they need
to
get to where they need to go, right?
Yes.
I am a firm believer of when you put profits before people,
you lose.
You're gonna lose.
You lose, and that's where 80% of them sit.
You got to get rid of the 3 C's.
The thing about a car dealership is that one of my favorite sayings is the good is the enemy of the best, right?
Yeah.
It's easy. It's not. I shouldn't say it's easy to make money, right? But
it is.
I have witnessed car dealers doing really crappy, terrible things and still making a shit ton of money, right? Do I got to put something in the jar?
No. There was enough other swears that you're good tonight.
So this is a place where Larry and I differ, right? Like I am not about world domination or I want to do good for the industry, good for my family, good for the people with whom I am associated.
You don't want to be with Drunkle.
I don't want to be with Drunkle.
Yeah, drunk uncle, Drunkle.
Oh, drunk. No, definitely not with drunk uncle. Definitely not that. Right, but I want to, and I have faith.
Lawsuit.
I have faith, like Riley, that things will come to me, right? If I keep doing the next right thing. So
people want to do business with people that they like, and people like people who treat them well and treat them like their brother and their sister. I saw a guy when I pulled into the dealership, he opened the door and he goes, see your key, see your car, and see you later. And didn't walk them the next 10 yards to the car.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like, seriously.
That's
I'm here early enough. I know this car was here overnight. So probably had something disconnected with the battery. Did you make sure that when they turned the car on, that the radio station was at the radio station that they expected it to be, that it was programmed? When you get into the car, does everything appear to be functioning in the manner that you were expecting? Yeah, great. Anything comes up, you let me know. Yeah. And then they drive away. And it would take them 3 minutes. There wasn't a line of cars out the John Search Drive door. It was not raining or anything like that. There was no reason not to take care of the customer the last 10 yards. I mean, you went across 3 lanes of fucking Search Drive and you can't go 10 more yards to the car and say, everything okay with the car? I mean, shit, it's like Advisor 101. It's people. Do I need to?
Yep.
You might have to.
That was for Christian. That's okay.
Yeah, that's like my 401k plan. It's just going into the swear jar. But it just drives me absolutely nuts.
Correct.
That people, they think they're doing good because they've got to that point. And it's like, you're just short. You got almost there, and you deserve a 75 or an 80% on a survey because you didn't take another 10 yards.
Yeah, you missed the last step.
You had to make sure that they were good to go.
You missed the last step. I mean, I was talking to a dealer today. I had a meeting with one of the guys at the dealership. Couldn't get him. He was in a meeting, shocking, in a car dealer. Called the switchboard 3 times. Each person said something completely different, and none of them got back to me in a timely manner. And it's one of the largest dealers in the market in the country I live in. And they don't even have their phone process down. Like they have like everyone's got a different game plan and none of it's consistent. Like everybody. It's like, really?
I was in a dealer group the other day and I wanted to leave a voicemail on somebody's voice. And they said, oh no, we just take them and write them down on a piece of paper. I'm like, really? Today? I couldn't believe it.
So David said something in the chat that I thought is really important, and that's just people need to know that we care about them, whether you are leading people or I'm hearing from all of you sales gurus, right? That it's the people that we're selling to too that need to know. And Christian put something really funny. He wants credit. Christian wants credit. Swear credit.
Absolutely.
There might be a night that I'm on a roll, so I just would like a little penance for tonight.
There you go.
Hey guys, we're
out of time.
A little bit past 8. We can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see a lot of you at NADA the following weekend. Everybody stay healthy and thank you so much for joining. We appreciate all of you.
Yeah, and if you're at NADA, drop by the Numa booth. We'll have t-shirts and hats as they last for free on the down low. And if you are there and you want some free food, go to Bagel Mania. Joel from VidCalls is picking up breakfast and lunch for anyone who shows up and asks for Joel. And there's some details there on a Bond theme party on the chat if you're interested.
And next week's topic is NADA and how you're getting ready for it.
All right.
I'll know by then if I'm going, actually. So
no problem.
Stay healthy and thank you so much.
3 o'clock Friday afternoon, we have Ken Luna back on our show, our first podcast and our 51st. So look for Larry and Mike and myself talking with Ken, and hopefully he announces some big news for NADA. So,
absolutely.
Check out the show 3 o'clock.
Ciao.
Stay healthy, everybody.
Take care.
Good night. Good night.
Recording stop.
Thank you for helping the industry get better today live.
Be safe, Roundup. Stay warm.